Tap, tap, tap in. 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 Welcome to Tap In Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen. It's your girl Titi from the D, and I am super excited that I am able to get in this place on tonight. Whew, it's been a struggle, y'all. I was down. Your girl was down for a minute. It's been a lot going on. It's been a lot going on, y'all. It's been a lot going on. Not bad, but it's been a lot going on. I hadn't been feeling well, been under the weather, but God, right? But God, because let me tell you, I can't navigate this thing called life without his presence, his omnipresence. Let me be clear about that part. But tonight we're going to keep it smooth as we tap into the voting experience. I meant to reach out to two amazing people who I chatted with about bringing them on and let's talk about the voting experience. But I'm a mom first, right? Before I'm a podcaster, we had parent teacher conference today. We had to see what that looked like. And so, I just am super excited to have positive feedback. Shout out to Cody. He's doing great. He's in 7th grade. Let's rock and roll, boy. Cody also made the basketball team. Shout out to Cody. He made the basketball team. All right, so let's get into some graphics. For those of you that may be over here, and I think I'm going to just kind of jump off of that. Yeah, you want to hear that? Bing! I like that noise. Okay, so we're going to, you just have to rock and roll with me over here. And this is not even put out there, so a lot of people don't even know I'm out here tonight. I was debating if I was just going to cancel this show too, but as we're getting ready to close down season 2 of TT from the D podcast, Tap In Tuesdays, we're getting ready to revamp and do something super dope for season 3. Okay. And I also wanted to make sure not only that we tap into the voting experience that we just recently got through voting last week, y'all. November 8th was an important day. We have been rallying and promoting and shouting it from the mountaintops, all the promotion, all kind of things to get you ready, get you pumped, get you educated. Shout out to Michigan Nonprofit Association for making sure that we have the information to share. Shout out to the New Citizen Press. I'm sorry. Shout out to Rena Risper. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I can't wait to have her on the show. She'll be on the show when I do Women in Media, which will be in 2023, right around the corner. Did y'all see that snow out there? Disrespectful. I said, what in a Lifetime special is happening through this window? I was like, it always seems to snow right before Thanksgiving, just like it always seems to rain. At least here in Michigan. I don't know about other parts of the world, but here in Michigan, it always seems like it rains on Halloween. And I told Swifty, I said, it's almost like the kids ain't supposed to be going out. Because on one hand, we get dressed up and we go out and the fun and joy of, let's go out and get with our friends and get candy. But on the other side, we teach our kids the other 364 days of the year, don't talk to strangers.
Don't take candy from strangers. Don't do this. Don't do that. But that one day we'd be like, make an exception to the rule. And a lot of times I think it's, oh, well, we're with them. We're, those of us that are licensed carriers, we like, okay, I don't want to have to do all this activity, but this is my child or children. And then it's our duty as carriers to make sure we protect those that are in imminent danger and harm, to make sure we can do the best we can within reason to protect them. But I was just like, the weather, right? That's knowing the seasons. We have to know our seasons. It's so important to know the seasons. Now, bringing me to this point, I can't help myself. I'm going to kill this camera because one thing I do want to remind you, we're going here. Election security. Okay, what does that look like? All right. Did you notice anything when you were out there? Right? Have you noticed anything? There were a lot of things put into place to make sure that we were able to do what we needed to do. Okay? Flat out. And I'm super excited to be a part of that team. Let me go here. Did you miss the cutoff to register? That was a big issue. Because people was like, okay, oh, this could have happened, that could have happened, blah, blah, blah. Okay, no problem. If you had an emergency the day of November 8th, the emergency must have occurred at the time in which made it impossible for you to apply for a regular absentee voter's ballot. And so you would have had to have contacted, your local clerk, as they said there. If an emergency like a sudden illness, family death prevents you from reaching the polls on election day, you could request an emergency ballot. Yeah, those are emergencies, right? And here's the fun fact. You had to request an emergency ballot after the deadline for the regular absentee voter ballot had passed out before 4 p.m. on election day. You would have had to have done that part. That is a very important part. This is something else. Okay, this was a question. If you've missed the voter registration deadline, you can still register to vote. These were questions people were talking about as we were getting closer to November 8th. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there were so questions that people wanted to ask and people had. And I was working in collaboration with Michigan Nonprofit Association and the New Citizens Press that should have got you equipped. It should have gotten you to the finish line, which was November 8th. But what do we do after? Like, we are one whole week, officially today, we are 1 week away out. The results, right? People are still out here. Some people are satisfied. Some people are like, I'm not buying it or whatever. But we are here. And I'm going to share something. I saw this. I thought this was pretty darn dope. Let me see. I wanted to share it on my screen, but I don't have it in my queue to be able to do that. So I have to kind of go for my mind a little bit. From my mind, but not from my mind. Because I really wanted to share this. I thought this was super dope. Let's see if I still hope I got it. So it says, and this is for all my Michiganders. Now, this might not mean nothing to none of my people that's in other states, but I know we're not the only state that did some amazing things. Getting out there, using our votes, using every method possible to make sure we were ready, educated to vote. November 8th, we knew the day was coming. And, initially you'd be like, yeah, I'm going to vote. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Like, my mother normally votes absentee ballot, right? It didn't come this year for whatever reason. And so my sister here has two younger children, my niece and nephew. She had to get them from school. She had to go to vote. She lives about 45 minutes away. It was like, okay, my mother lives closer to me. I could work it out. I voted early in the morning. I got up right in early in the morning. I was at those polls. I was number 5 in line initially, and then I ended up being number 20. But there was a little issue with that. Well, I don't want to digress, but I'll table that and come back to that. But it was interesting. My mother was like, are you taking me to vote today? And I'm like, yeah, Mom. Yeah. I'm going to take it this afternoon. So I didn't know what that was going to look like. My mother also has a disability. Now, one thing I love about when I collaborate with other companies, organizations, and I am filled with knowledge, it empowers us. Knowledge is power. We tell our kids that, we tell each other that. is fact. Okay. So I knew what I should expect when I went to the polling location where my mother needed to go, which was totally different, two different communities. I went to vote that morning. Let's go back to that. Okay. Then we're going to move on over. My voting experience, getting out there. Got up early, got there about 15 minutes before the polls opened, was in line. And although I was number 5, it was just because they were moving people around. I couldn't understand it at first. Like, okay, people are in line. And then it was just like, do you have your voter registration card? And I'm like, oh my God, I thought I could just have my ID. So I was like, oh God. And then I thought to myself, yeah, they're going to ask for your ID. You don't have to have your voter's registration card, but it does help you because that helps identify your precinct, right? And so that was something I wanted to make sure that I had identified my correct precinct because I had moved. I moved since last year. And so the precinct that I had went to for the last 15 years was different on the other side, but it was different. And I'm like, oh my God. So shout out to my boss, Dr. Freeman. She got me together, helped me find my precinct. So they're moving around and I'm looking around like, oh my God, right? And so it was my time to get up there and the young man, so there was a process. You show your ID. If you had your voter registration card, you gave it to them, they showed it, they matched it. If you didn't have your voter registration card, they had you fill out the little slip. And then they put your ID with it. They wrote down your number, whatever your number was. And that was going to be, I didn't know it at the time, but that was going to be the little thing that would be inside your ballot sleeve on the outside of that little plastic paper. And then at the top of your voter registration ballot, that number should have matched the one that was inside the little sleeve. So I got educated on that. I never paid attention. All the years of voting, I never paid attention to that. Learned it because it was so slow at that process at the moment. So when I got to the next station, which was the person that verified the numbers match. If you're number 20, okay, the ballot is number 20. They were very intentional. He said, there's an issue. I'm looking at him like, what? And so the lady that at the first station said, what is it? He said, well, her address is different. And so I'm looking. Now, mind you, I'm African American. We know this. I was the only African American in here at this point. I'm looking like, so the lady was like, her address is right there in the system. He said, no, I see it in the system. And I said, it's on the front of the ID. Like my ID has my correct address. Like, what? She said, just override that and just go. He's like, oh, okay. Did we need to do that? I was like, okay, hold it. Then we went on through the process, got in. Some folks there were saying, hey, if you show your little voter's registration, I voted sticker, some Starbucks and some Dunkin' Donuts are giving out free coffee. Now, they made this announcement not just to a couple of people that I was ear hustling. No, they said this to a few people. And I thought to myself, that's so nice of Starbucks. That is so nice of Dunkin' Donuts. But it also made me think, so what if I wasn't a voter? Okay. What if I voted absentee ballot? What if I voted online? Because remember this year, I mean, every year, but we really were hard on encouraging people to vote online, absentee ballot, or at the polls. If you're able-bodied and have the time, because the polls were open from 7 to 7. I believe it was 7 to 7 or it was 7 to 8. Definitely, I know it was at 7. I know that definitely was at 7. Then you should be able to get out there, whether that's on your lunch break, first thing in the morning, right after work, okay, whatever that looked like for you. And it was just like, oh, so what if I selected initially 2 of the other versions of voting, online, absentee ballot. I don't have a sticker to say I voted. And I think what would be cool, I mean, they ain't going to waste money on stamps and stuff like that. But I feel that if you mail in your absentee ballot, you should get mailed a I voted sticker. Because you did, right? I'm 47 and I still like getting a little cute little, I don't even care. Like, I'm like, I voted, right? So I feel like if you vote online, you should be able to get your I voted sticker or decal, whatever, mailed or emailed to you. I think even if you showed your little sign like I voted, because you're a part of that. Okay. So I said that to say, I left there. I was geeked up. Y'all probably saw my post that morning because I've been, like I said, partnering and collaborating with Michigan Nonprofit Association and the New Citizens Press to make sure that we are ready, educated, amped to get out there and vote. Okay. Now, I thought ahead because I'm a Starbucks girl. I'm a Dunkin' Donut girl, right? I'm also an Einstein girl. I love those three spots for sure, for sure. I called Starbucks, one of the Starbucks on my way into the office. And I was like, hey, good morning. They're like, hey, good morning. And you agree? Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you agree. That's what's up. So I felt like, oh, let me be proactive. So I said, I just left a voting station and they told the people that if we show our I voted stickers that you guys were giving out coffee. So the guy was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? I said to myself, oh, this man don't know about this. I said, so I voted at so-and-so precinct, and that announcement was made by some of the poll election workers that if we go to Starbucks, select Starbucks in our area, or Dunkin' Donuts, that we were going to be able to get free coffee. So he said, no, we can't do that. He said, we're not doing that. That's bad information. I said, well, you know what? Let me tell you this. I'm not the only one. I said, I did elect to call you first, right? Because I wanted to be sure. You know what I'm saying? That's why we could be careful, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what we release out our mouth. Okay? I'm not going to get on here and tell y'all some stuff that someone hasn't given me this fact. If I'm saying, hey, y'all need to go down to Popeye's Chicken, they're giving away those chicken sandwiches from so-and-so time to so-and-so time. I had to have some evidence on that. And it can't be one of my friends calling me, girl, they're giving out chickens at so-and-so, so-and-so. Really? Yeah. Shoot, tell everybody you know. Okay, bet. That's what's up. You know what I'm going to do? Even though I might love my friend, I think they're reliable and all that, a good source. But if I'm going to deliver this to y'all, I'm going to call Popeye's Chicken and say, I just want to verify that you guys are giving out free chickens from so-and-so time to so-and-so time. Either it's going to be a yay or a nay. If they be like, yeah, we are, blah, blah, blah. Okay, bet. So now I'm going to come to y'all and say, yo, guess what? If you guys go to so-and-so at this time and this time, you can get this and that. So when I hung up the phone, I said, when I went to the Dunkin' Donuts, I wasn't mad. I didn't know if they used if that poll worker used it as a tactic to try to get people to tell other people to get out and vote and get your little stickers or what. I didn't know because we're all there obviously to vote, but it was just like, okay. First of all, I think that politically you can't do that. So I don't know what that ended up looked like. My heart went out to Starbucks in my neighborhood because there are 3 in my area. And I was like, the voting precinct was like right in the heart. And it's like you can go to the right, straight, or to the left, and you can hit 2, really. If you go to the left, you can hit 2. And I was just like, okay, but you have information. You pouring out information, pouring it out there, throwing it out there, putting it in the atmosphere. We're going to continue to remind you to go to www.michigan.gov to get information. Any misinformation or information that you want to know about, like where we are, who has the House, who's in it. From what I understood, I was trying to get this. I wanted to pull this up so bad because I want to give you the source. So I'm going to see if I can pull it up, okay? Because I was thinking about this when I was in Parent Teacher Conferences today, and I wanted to make sure I shared this because I thought it was super dope information. Some of y'all might say, we don't care, TT. And then some of y'all might say, you know what? That's what's up. So let me see. I want to see because I want to share it with you. And I want to be accurate for the history that changed. Okay. Let's see. I gotta put a key word in there, see if we can do a phrase. Okay. Let's see. I hope I can get it because I really thought this was super dope. Okay. Yes. Ooh. So if you guys go, and you know what I'm gonna do? This is one of the best things about being online. I'm going to drop this over here. I think I can do this. Put this over here for y'all to get the information. Yes, I can. Look at God. Won't he do it? So, it populated. It did. Okay. So if you click over there, y'all, because I know I'm broadcasting and streaming from a lot of different platforms, but you can click on this. But for those of you that might be listening and driving and unable to do that, I'm going to also put this show out on anchor.fm. If you go to www.michiganadvance.com, you can find this proof right here yourself. The Democrats control of Michigan legislature for the first time in 40 years. And it reads this. It says, and this was updated as of November 10th at 9:31 a.m. Okay. You can go right to the source. I'm telling you what I know from what I read. Okay. It said Democrats will now have a political trifecta in Lansing after retaining the top office with Governor Gretchen Whitmer, Big Gretch, okay, and winning in both chambers of the Michigan legislature on Tuesday. This is the first time Democrats will have total party control in the Michigan legislature in roughly 40 years. I got chills just saying that. Like, what? Now, y'all already know people are hell-bent mad. Let's not act like it ain't what it is. Let's address it. I am not going to say if I'm a Democrat or Republican or nonpartisan, because that's my personal business. I don't care what party you with. We are people. I want what's right. That's all I want. I want what's right. I want you to know what you need to do to make sure that if you miss voting this year, which I hope you didn't, but if you did, I want you to know better for next year. And if it be the Lord's will, if I can partner up with Michigan Nonprofit Association, the New Citizens Press, great, or any other organization that's about the people, I'm for it. So they said the Democrats last were in charge of the Senate in 1984. Jesus. I think the president back then in 84 was Reagan. I could be wrong. I was a kid, but I remember Reagan, Clinton, back in that era. And it wasn't Clinton, because Clinton was more modern. He was more of a Monica Lewinsky type of thing. Y'all already knew about that. But I think for real. Reagan, I think Reagan was president in 84. I could be wrong. I'm going to have to look, because I don't like that. I'm like, oh, let's see who was the president. I just got to find out. I'm sorry. And I want y'all to know. I want you to be informed. It was Reagan. Whoop, whoop. It said, yes. Ronald Reagan, originally an American actor and politician. I never knew that. How about that? I didn't know Mr. Reagan, President Reagan, was an actor. He looked like he could have been one, but I didn't know that. But they said that he became the 40th president of the United States from 1981 to 1989. Salute. May he rest in power. So that's super dope. Then they said, and then they last controlled the House in 2010. Okay. So that's a lot. That's a lot. They said that there is a projected 20-18 split in favor of Democrats in the upper chamber. Early on Wednesday, it looked like there could be a 19-19 tie with Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist as the tie-breaking vote. But Dems now look to have won an outright majority. And that is as of November 10th that we got that information. Okay. What we're doing here, I want to share something else. All right, blah, 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 blah. Don't want to share that because it's too much. I love Traverse City, so I'm going to just share this because I have a broad range of listeners everywhere. But they said 103rd House District in the northern part of the state, Democratic Grand Traverse County Commissioner Betsy Kofia defeated State Rep Jack O'Malley. She won 49.8% of the vote, while O'Malley won 48.5%. Not a big significant, but that's big. I think that's big. let's see, we have, okay, I want to do that. Yeah, I do want to share this. 27th House District, Democrat Jamie Churches. Okay. 29th House District, Republican James DeSana. Okay. 31st House District, Democratic Van Buren Township trustee Reggie Miller defeated Republican Trucker from Monroe. Okay. 44th House District, State Rep Jim Hadsma, Battle Creek defeated Republican Dave Morgan. 35th Senate District resulted in Democratic Bay City Commissioner Kristen McDonald Rivet defeating Republican Annette Glenn. Okay. 11th Senate District in Macomb County, Democratic Macomb County Commissioner Veronica Kleinfeld beat State Senate Michael McDonald. 4th Senate District, State Rep Darren Camilleri, Brownstown Township beat Republican House James Houston James in the Downriver side of that. So I just wanted to share those little statistics with you guys. If you are a Michigander, that we have now that control, and we haven't had that. We've not ran that in 40 years. I think that's super dope. I know a lot of people could say, it don't matter to me either way. We just want what's right. And that's what I'm about. If the Republicans had the answers and they was going to run for everybody, then let's rock. If the Democrats are going to have the answers and run for everybody, then let's rock. If the nonpartisans, but let me tell you this before I jump back into what we were talking about, the voters' experience. As the people, we have to do what's right. Okay? We're so fixated on worrying about what the president of the United States or vice president is doing or not doing or should be doing according to our thoughts, right? We didn't go to school to get the education to be politicians, okay? Some of us did not. We are hood politicians or self-made politicians, if you will. I want what we all should want, and that's what's best for everybody as a people, okay? Would it be dope if we didn't have Democrats, Republicans, just the people? That's rhetorical. But it's like, we just want what's right. Isn't that the end goal, to want what's right? Okay, so that's rhetorical. I'm hoping you'll say, yeah, we just want what's best for everybody. Our children, ourselves, our grandchildren to come, our great-grandchildren to come, if the world is still here and not torn apart by then. Let's talk about two voters' experiences. Dr. Floyd shared that when she arrived at her polling station that morning, and we reported this to the United States government in Lansing, the House. We reported this. There's all these numbers, websites you could go to report anything, poll intimidation, whatever it was looking like out there in the streets for y'all. You had a duty to report it and share that. The media was out there. The media are going to take it and do what they do with it. And I'm going to leave it at that, okay? Because I got friends in the media. And I would like to think my friends are fair, that I know. And I've never known of my friends that's in media to do anything that was just for some ratings. There are some folks that do that, but not my friends, okay? So Dr. Floyd said when she got to her polling station that the ballots weren't working. And there was somebody with a key that said, oh, no worries, let's kind of see what's going on. And then they went up and then they made a call and they said, oh, so-and-so brought the wrong ballots. They brought out the absentee ballots instead of the ones we do. Excuse you? Like, wait, how long y'all been prepping for this? Who was in charge of bringing those ballots out? No worries. You can still do your ballots, and we'll just put them in this box. We'll unlock it and you can lay them in there. And Dr. Floyd was like, no. I'm not liking that because I want to see it counted. Okay. I hope I ain't mixing this up. Yeah. She wanted to see it counted. So then it was just like, Miss Smith shared her experience. And when she got to her polling station that morning, she said that the machines were broken. And it was just like, okay, that's what it was. Miss Smith machines were broken, so they had to open that. And then that's what it was. Let me go. Hold on. Let me see. I want to be clear about this because there's two issues. One polling station, the ballots were the wrong ballots. I might have the wrong person. Dr. Floyd could be on the other, but these are two stories that I know for a fact. This is fact. One poll location, the ballots were the absentee ballots. Incorrect. Wrong. Like, how did you manage to even do that? Moving on. The other polling location issue was the machine's not working. And the remedy for that, the backup plan is if the machine isn't working to count the ballots, then we will just take the ballots and put it in the lockbox and we got a key to it. And my thought was, okay, I feel you. That's a backup plan. But when you have like a second machine or somebody on standby that can bring a machine, because who's to say that you're not going to take out these ballots in this box that you have a key to and let it weigh into your thing? So I think they put a pause and a pause on that, shed light to that. Some people might want to say it was probably this and all. Let's not. But let's not act like we don't see what we see when we see it. Okay? We have to make ourselves educated, ladies and gentlemen. The information can be out there flooding the social media world, television, radio, people handing out information cards. If you weren't asleep or in a coma, you were very aware of all the things that were happening in your area if you concerned yourself with it. I have to say that. Let's be honest about it. The experience with my mother, being an elderly woman with a disability, I thought like, oh, I might go into some challenges. Again, mind you, my mother has not gone to vote in person in a long, long time. She's used to using absentee ballots, and it didn't come for some reason this year. So just think about this. If my mother, who doesn't like, to get out with all the crowds, but also just don't want to have to deal with things in her situation with her disability, if she felt like I'll just vote next year, oh yeah, no. If that was her mindset, that would have been one less vote. Okay. It would have been one less vote. And so it was a blessing for me to be able to go to her polling location. I left her in the car. I went in and I said, listen, I'm here with my mother. She has a disability. I need to know what you have in place for her in here. Oh, because you had to walk down this long hall, then go around. They said, well, no, you could pull your mother up to the front door. Security's at the door. They'll let you in. Then you could bring your mother in. She can sit until it's her time. You could stand in line for her if you like. And she could sit when it's her time. She can come up because she has to be the one to give us the ID, blah, 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 blah. And when it's time for her to get ready to do her ballot, she can go and have a seat over there. If she needs more light, there are little lights over there. If she needs, and I was just so impressed because firstly, I knew that there should have been people on site to help. I also noticed there was a young man who was Hispanic that didn't speak English. I knew from me working with Michigan Nonprofit Association and the New Citizen Press that there should be people on standby. No matter what your disability is, there should be somebody there to help you and assist you. Also, if you have a language barrier or you're deaf or whatever, it should be a sign language person. I was so happy to see there was a man that came over to assist this young man. I was so happy. And I was so happy that he wasn't one of those people trying to assist him and tell him what to pick. He explained it in Spanish. And the guy took his time, did whatever he did. And then he would let him know. And I know this because they allowed me to stand with my mom. Not there saying, oh, but stand with her just in case she needed me to assist her because I had her cane and things like that. And yeah, so I was excited to see the things that I was promoting that was supposed to be in place actually be in place. I was a living witness on November 8th to see the things that us as Michiganders were promised we would see, that I was able to see some of the things. Now there were hiccups. There was a lot of other little things, but nothing terrible. Also, I was happy to know the Huntington Place, the center downtown, they were able to go to the second floor. They didn't have to deal with the chaos that they had to deal with people being disturbed last year with knocking on the window and chanting and all that, blah, 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 right? It was a very peaceful situation. I was happy to not see there was any major issues going. It was peaceful. And that's the way things should be, ladies and gentlemen. We should be at peace. We should have the right, no matter what your gender is, your color is, your nationality, or your language, or your disability, to go out and vote unbothered at your own pace. We have the right. I don't want to hear all that stuff like, well, the minorities, no. Because it used to be where the brown and black were the minority, but it's different now. There's different minority groups. How about we just people? That's how I look at it. I wouldn't say, oh, that must be the so-and-so group, and oh, that's the so-and-so group. Oh, and that must be the so-and-so group. I want to go in, and I just want to get in where I fit in. How about that? That's where I want. That's what I want to see. I want us to get in where we fit in. Okay. I want us all to be accepted. I want y'all people, and when I say y'all people, you people that are ignorant, to just understand that we are just human beings. We're all human beings. I don't care what you look like. I don't care about your color. I don't care about your language you speak. I don't care about any of those things, because guess what? At the end of the day, you're a human being. Some of y'all don't act like human beings, and some of you act barbaric and like animals, but at the end of the day, you bleed red blood. If it's any other color, I'm not sure what's going on with you. But at the end of the day, don't we all want what's right? And we all have our own opinions. Everybody not going to be appeased. Everybody not going to be appeased. So use your voice, cast your vote, and you can say, I put in my 2 cents. The chips are going to fall where they may. But if you didn't get out there to vote at those polls on November 8th, if you didn't go online to vote, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't use your absentee ballot, and you're cussing and fussing and cutting up, I'm going to need you to fall back, because you didn't do your part. You didn't do your part. You sitting, ranting and raving and cussing and fussing and all that. But if you wasn't even a part of the equation to help it go either way, who are you to sit back and talk all this mess and stir up bull crap? I'm working on my cussing, y'all. I'm so proud of myself. But yeah, so like, no, we got to do better. And when we know better, we do better. That's the slogan that I've heard all my life, but it's actually true. When we know better, we're supposed to perform better, make better informed decisions. Yeah, we are. So on that note, I'm going to end it right there. Go to www.michigan.gov to get all the information you need. Brush up on the things you didn't know, or you might have forgotten. Because promoting it, all this stuff coming at you, it can be overwhelming, right? It could be like, oh my God, if I see this one more time, I get it. But you can go there and go back over, okay? And if you feel like, I didn't get out, we're not judging you. We want to let you know that you could have gotten out there. You could have been behind a computer, like, you could have did it through the mail. There were all these commercials, all these resources, all these assistant tools in place. If you didn't know about it, now you know. And next week, Tap In Tuesday, getting on to another subject. I'm going to have a beautiful young lady. I'm super, super excited. She is the youngest entrepreneur yet to come on TT from the D. And she is the founder of Awesomely You period panty line. She has developed a period panty leak-proof for young girls, for teenagers, for those little people that get those periods before they become grown women like myself. And she's also come up with, and I'm like, I saw online, I'm like, I got to get some, the adult version of the period panties with the built-in, and the kid version with a heating pad built in. I said, oh my God. So I had the pleasure of having this young lady on my show last year when it was all audio through Anchor.fm. And I'm so super stoked to be able to bring her back this year through the visual abilities. And I'm going to take that interview next Tuesday and make sure that we share it over on Anchor.fm. For those of you that don't know, I also like to remind you that TT from the D podcast can also be heard not only on Spotify, you can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, iHeart Podcast. It's another one. I forgot, but I'm super excited and I'm humbled. And I want to thank you, the listener, the viewer. Without y'all, I wouldn't be able to do this. I wouldn't. Okay. I would say things like, oh, I come for that one. But let me rattle off to you guys who are tapping in for Tapping Tuesday. I'm humble when I say this, and I'm super excited. I'm starting not to feel well again. So pray in my strength, y'all. God gonna get me through. He really is. He's been bringing me through, but I'm starting not to feel well. I said, Holy Father, activate Jesus. Be a fence all around me. Oh, before I pull this up, I want to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, really this is for all of my married people, engaged people, and couples that are thinking about taking it to the next level, that we are in the midst of a 30-day marriage challenge. If you want to get up and listen, for that fresh thought for the day, I've been on since November 1. And Swifty, my husband, has been joining me. Thank you. Shout out to my husband, Swifty McVeigh. He's been joining me. We've been teaming up, and we have been doing the 30-day marriage challenge, where we have a subject every day. A lot of it has a lot of scriptures with it. We're talking from a worldly perspective, and we include the word of God because God created marriage. Mankind tried to dictate it, but it was created to be a covenant, not this contract people try to say and all this other stuff like that. So we do that, and we're trying to get it where you can actually have it available to listen to, because we do it every morning. We pray and we get right into it. Sometimes it might just be me. Sometimes it'll just be Swifty. Sometimes it'll be both of us. This morning segment was husbands pray for your wives. Yesterday, it was wives pray for your husband. I don't know what tomorrow's going to be. We'll see. God, whatever God lays out there, whatever we come up and we come into agreement and touch and agree on, it will manifest on tomorrow. But you can catch us and listen. It's not a live stream, but you can listen to us over on Spotify, Anchor.fm, iHeartRadio, iHeart Podcast, and Amazon Music. Okay. Now, I want to say thank you to all of my listeners that's on those sites. Couldn't do it without you guys listening. I'm not sure where everybody is viewing from. I would love to know when people are falling through. Just drop your city, drop your state, drop your country where you're viewing from. That's amazing. I love it. Okay. I see a note from LinkedIn. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. What do I think? Okay. Yeah. So shout out to all of my folks in the United States, of course. But I'm going to run this down and then we're going to shut the show down. Bahrain, Philippines, Canada, Ireland, India, Italy, Puerto Rico, United Kingdom, Romania, Australia. Holy Father, wait. My fat finger just did something. I'm sorry. I don't know how I did that. I got off. Let me go back. My little fat chubby fingers. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to repeat, so I'm going to stop. We're going to go back to where I know. Puerto Rico, United Kingdom, Romania, Australia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, the Netherlands, Bulgaria, Poland, Russia, Germany, Denmark, Switzerland, Mexico, Egypt, Guam, Ukraine, Bangladesh, Lebanon, and Czech Republic. Shout out to everybody there. I'm super excited. I'm thankful. I'm grateful for you tuning in on Wind Down Wednesday on our platform. If you are tapping in, I'm super excited there. We're also on YouTube. You can catch the shows on YouTube. But I'm super excited, y'all. Change is on the horizon. Change is always good when it's for the positive. And again, I'm for the people. And I believe that a lot of my listeners, supporters, believe that we are on a mission to do great things. And as we grow, as we show, as we learn, as we navigate this thing called life, we just want to continue to put out positive things, good things. That's my hope. That's my prayer for everybody. I'm hoping we all feel that same way. I'm hoping that there's people not out here that really feel like I don't care and whatever. But if you are out there, I can't feel any way about it. But I do want to close my show out with just asking people to pray for one another. If you are a praying person, if you are not a praying person, that's okay. But if you are, I just ask you to pray for people as a whole. Not just you, not just your family and friends, but people as a whole. I don't think there could ever be too much prayer in the world. I think that everybody could use prayer. Um, we're intended to love each other, y'all. We're intended to love each other. We're intended to encourage, empower, motivate, inspire, right? One another. And this is the type of show that won't really get shared with people because they don't want to hear about this. We're so bothered with, I'm not going to share that because people not going to really, I'm okay with that. I'm here for the one, right? Because that one person is a powerful person. And that one person that's a powerful person can tell another person. And that person that's powerful told knows that this person's a powerful person. And they look up to that person, right? So I'm always here for that one. We need each other. If we want a better world, we have to be better people. I mean, I know that wasn't part of the podcast title today, but if we want to be better people, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta do our part. We really gotta do our part, Put you to the side. Understand that your life is not your own. It's not about you all the time. I have to say that. I like to just look through, but it's not always about you. And I'm looking right into this camera as I say that. It's not all about you. Pause you. Love on somebody that you normally don't love on. Because I'm going to tell you why. There's a lot of people that's going through some things right now in this season of life. We are very close to the holidays. There are people, Holy Father, there are people that are missing their child or their children, whether their child or children are in a hospital because they're sick, whether their child or children are locked away, whether their child or children have gone on. They're missing them. And the holidays are tough. There are elderly people that are alone. We get busy in life, and I get it. I'm busy. I do a whole lot. And I'm sure you do too. But we have to make time for those people that weren't always older and elderly. Drop them a plate off every now and then. Drop them a meal off. You might not have time to cook. Drop them a meal off. I don't care if it's once a week. They get to see you. It don't have to be every Monday I go by. No, it could be sporadic, once a week. Put that on your agenda. If you know an elderly person, if they're a relative or a friend, and you know they don't really cook much no more, they don't get out, and you know the holiday, invite them over. Take them a plate. A lot of elderly people are people, those that are missing their husbands and wives that may be in hospital for whatever illness, that may be locked away for whatever reason, that may have gone and left this life. They are alone. Pray for them. There are people that have just lost their jobs, may have just lost their homes, maybe living in their car, maybe displaced, living from place to place, couch to couch, may have gotten their lights cut off, may not know where their next meal is going to come from for them or their family. Pray for them. We got to be a better people. We talk a good game. Most people do. Nobody want to hear people beat down and downplay or disrespect people that are less than or have less than, I should say. Not less than, because none of us are better than the next person. Know that you could be on top today and your unhumbleness Your lack of love and respect for life could put you at the bottom. And that same man or woman, boy or girl that you laughed at, you made fun of, you kicked while they were down, could be that same one that could be walking past you when the tables turn. So be kind. Love on each other. Respect each other. That shit is free. It's free to love on people. It don't cost you nothing. It's free to respect people. It don't cost you nothing. Now, some of y'all buy love. Some of y'all buy respect. But it's really free. Some of y'all give love and respect to people who don't deserve it. They treat you like trash. But you still give. You give abundantly. What about the ones that treat you like you everything? And you don't do anything for them. You look at them like, right? We are in the holiday seasons. This is a tough time of seasons for people. Not just Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas, the New Year. Just a lot. A lot of people lost a lot. A lot of people gained a lot too. Just be kind. Be about the people. Forget what you were told if it was foul and wrong and you wrestled in your spirit growing up, saying, I don't really feel that way, but that's the way of my family. Be your own person, damn it. You are who you are. And that might mean some of y'all family members going to be like, I don't mess with you no more because you know the way with our family. Okay, be the generational curse breaker because that shit's dysfunctional. When you do things only because your mother used to do it, or your father used to do it, your grandmother used to do it, or your grandfather used to do it, or your uncle, or your auntie, or your cousin, or your brother, or your sister, when it's in a negative impacting thing. I'm saying, if they as prejudiceness against whatever group, whatever color, it's everybody's right to be who they want to be. You know why? And I'm getting off track, but it's all good. If you got to go, I get it. God designed us to be who we are. Every one of us is beautiful, inside and out. Inside and out. You hear that cliche saying, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And that's probably true. But everybody is beautiful in their own way. Find what's beautiful about you if you ugly. See, ugliness is not just always outwardly. You could be fine as wine on the outside and ugly as hell on the inside. Let me tell you, sir, ma'am, you're now ugly on the outside. I don't care. All that Clairon and Maybelline and all that, or some of you are naturally beautiful outside, but you ugly as hell on the inside. You now are ugly, sir, ma'am, on the outside. And some people are not so pretty on the outside or not so handsome on the outside, but you're beautiful inside. You now, sir, ma'am, are beautiful on the outside. Because what's in us is housed up, it's bottled up, it's contained, but it's contained by you. It's housed up by you. You know how it feels when you clean your home and you open up the windows for fresh air to come in, or you open up the doors for fresh air to come in with the screen in there, of course, right? You know how that feels, how it smells, and you feel good about it. That beautiful person that God made you be, even the hardest thug is a sweet person. The meanest person is a sweet person because that's who we were created. It's a learned behavior to be ignorant and mean and nasty. It's a taught behavior. You learned it from somebody. You weren't born that way. And then if you were born and you were given those tendencies and your people who raised you didn't say, that's not nice to be that way, you shouldn't treat people like that, it's not too late to change your ways. You got to want to. You have the opportunity every day when you rise up, ladies and gentlemen, of yourself than you were yesterday. Forget what they told you. I'm reminding you that you are awesome and you have the ability to help change the world for the better. Now, let me be clear. Some folks don't want that, okay? Some folks thrive on negativity and ignorance. Some of y'all love that shit. And hey, I don't know what to tell you, except at the end of your lifespan, when you look back over your life, because we all gonna have an end of a lifespan. Some sooner than others, some later than others. It's not up to us to know. But when you look back over your lifespan, I hope that you want to look and say, you know what, I lived a life well. I made some mistakes, but I found my mistakes, and I might not have could have changed it, but I did better because I know better, or I knew better. I found a better way. Work on you every day. You owe it to you, your happiness, your peace. I don't owe you your happiness and your peace. You don't owe me my happiness and my peace. But we owe it to ourselves. It's our birthright to walk in happiness and joy and peace. Don't let nobody tell you you can't. With all this voting and all these things, I hope that you voted the way you wanted to vote. Not the way your friends told you to vote, or your mother, or your father, or your spouse, or your children, or your child, or your neighbors, or your coworkers, or your classmates. But I hope you voted the way you wanted to vote. I don't care if you did any, mini, miny, mo, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't care how you did it. Tic-tac-toe. I don't care how you voted. As long as you voted the way you wanted to vote, you can feel good about the results that we are looking at. And it's not just for my Michiganders. This is for anybody anywhere in the world. This message is approved by TT from the D. I'll see you soon. All right. And I'm going to end it with Amen, a song off of the Life of James album, Everard Cassidy, who is new in Chicago. He'll be airing live tomorrow morning. So I'm a
They say you can't do both. You be up on TV, then singing them songs you wrote. Boy, you better pick one thing, 'cause we ain't trying to hear you sing. I ain't never heard nobody, yeah, but time and time again they drop me, yeah. If that makes me a bad person, well, maybe you're the one who's hurting. Why you gotta hurt me so good? I will not be misunderstood. I won't let you break me again, 'cause I'm stronger now. Let the church say amen. Sometimes they try to break you down. They see you loving life, well, this is upside down. Listen to me, sometimes it works, but them's the times I gotta put me first. I ain't never hurt nobody, yeah. I am who I am, they can't take that away from me. Look to the one who made you who you are, you're a star, and you're gonna go far. Why you gotta hurt me so good? I will not be misunderstood. I won't let you break me again, 'cause I'm stronger now. Let the church say amen. 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 Stronger now. Let the church say amen. Why you gotta hurt me so good? Why you yeah.